Hello, this is Meghnad and you're watching Sansad Watch, where we tell you what the leaders you elected have been doing for you. Something weird has been happening lately. In the last few months, some of our most prominent stars have been doing rounds on TV tickers and social media reels, trying to sell cryptocurrency like it's bhaji pav.
क्रिप्टो बोले पूरा सेट है। बिटकॉइन लेने का तो कॉइन स्विच।
कॉइन DCX में आइए। यहाँ सिर्फ क्वालिटी चेक हुए क्रिप्टो हैं और आपके फंड्स भी इंश्योर्ड हैं।
It's possible with CoinSwitch Kuber. डाउनलोड करो और बिटकॉइन ट्रेडिंग स्टार्ट करो।
बिटकॉइन में ट्रेड करना आखिर फ्लेक्सिबल कितना है? आपके पैसे हैं, जब चाहो आपके पास।
There are so many exchanges now, clearly they're doing very well since they are hiring fancy expensive stars and all to advertise for their services. So surely it's all good, right? Well, not really. It's complicated. Over the past few years, you must have heard about crypto being okay, then it being banned, then it being okay again, and now there are a flood of ads asking you to get in on the crypto boom. Even news channels have started doing shows specifically on cryptocurrencies and how to invest in it.
Just explain to our viewers, the basic pillars of how to get started on your crypto journey and how to watch out for coins.
ये शो है कॉफी एंड क्रिप्टो और आज का फोकस है माइनिंग पर। माइनिंग क्या होती है, क्या आप इसे कर सकते हैं?
आज हम मिलकर यही समझेंगे। शुरुआत करते हैं एकदम बेसिक के साथ कि क्रिप्टो करेंसी क्या है।
These are all sponsored by the same crypto exchanges that we saw before. So what is going on? The thing is, currently we are stuck in this weird gray area where crypto is kind of legal, but we don't know if it will remain so in the future, or maybe it will be allowed with some very heavy regulations, like in our stock markets. It's time for us to unpack cryptocurrency regulations, but mainly we are dealing with two questions today. Number one, what is the government of India doing to regulate cryptocurrency? And number two, should the government regulate cryptocurrency at all or just ban it? The second one is slightly philosophical, which I will come to later and blow your mind, Sachi. But before we get into regulation and all that, let me tell you a little about what a cryptocurrency is. If you have seen any of these advertisements carefully, notice that there is a disclaimer in the end.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks.
Same to same, but this one is different.
Cryptocurrency is an unregulated digital asset, not a legal tender, and subject to market risks. All investments are subjected to market fluctuation risk.
Wait a minute.
Not a legal tender?
To break the grip of corruption and black money, we have decided that the 500 rupee and 1000 rupee currency notes presently in use will no longer be legal tender from midnight tonight, that is 8th November 2016. The 500 and 1000 rupee notes hoarded by anti-national and anti-social elements will become just worthless piece of paper.
Why am I bringing demonetization into this? It's because this is the perfect example to tell you about the value of money. Let me explain. Okay, so 5 years ago on 8th of November in 2016, a man appeared on your TV screens and announced that this note would be like a piece of paper from midnight on that very day. Instead, this new piece of paper, which was Gandhiji smiling from a different direction, will have value. All of this is quite amusing, isn't it? Think about it. One day, everyone agreed that this piece of paper has certain value to it. Then, after the man on TV told us that it doesn't, we were like, yeah, of course it doesn't have any value. That, my friends, is the magic of human belief. In reality, this piece of paper is just a store of value. You can either buy bhaji pav with it or this fancy karare chane newslaundry mug. It is available on our store. All of us agree that this piece of paper is worth 500 rupees, which can be used to buy stuff. Currency is like a universal language that everyone understands and agrees to. It helps people set a value for the work they do and finally acts as a medium of exchange so that people can successfully barter things with other people. But there is another little thing that makes this valuable. The words, "I promise to pay to the bearer a sum of 500 rupees. with the signature of the RBI governor under it and a stamp. This is not just a random thing on your note, by the way, but a guarantee by the Reserve Bank of India that this piece of paper has value worth 500 rupees. You see, this entire process of assigning something value and to get people to believe in it is a job which needs to be done by someone who is extremely trustworthy and credible. In this case, it is the RBI. Around the world, currencies have been controlled by governments and central banks. They decide how much currency to print, keep a track of where it goes, and keep an eye out for who has how much money. But in 2007, there was a moment which sparked something which would change all of that. A rebel anonymous nerd called Satoshi Nakamoto decided that this gives too much power to one entity. So they will create a whole new currency that is controlled by the people as a collective. And that is how Bitcoin was born. The basic concept of cryptocurrency is that instead of one government or bank controlling it, a network of hundreds of people from across the world would note down all the transactions which are happening using the cryptocurrency and therefore control it. It's the same thing that a bank does. It acts as a register for transactions. The only difference is that a cryptocurrency will have thousands of entities doing it instead of a single one. It's a decentralized currency, whereas this one is a centralized currency. Now, this basic idea is causing some big problems. Governments across the world started getting worried that a parallel economy was coming up where cryptocurrencies will be used to do anonymous, untraceable transactions, something that they won't have control over. And that was one of the worries of our government too. So, what is the government of India doing to regulate and control cryptocurrency? The Reserve Bank of India first took notice way back in 2013 and issued a press release. Basically, it was like an advisory which told people about the dangers of investing in crypto. Even the Ministry of Finance took notice and issued a warning of their own. They said that there appeared to be an investment bubble in cryptocurrencies that seemed similar to Ponzi schemes.
25 दिन में पैसा डबल 25 दिन में पैसा डबल
In 2018, the government's prediction was proven true. The crypto bubble burst, causing prices of cryptocurrencies to plummet by nearly 80%, making it a disaster even worse than the dot-com bubble. Loads of people lost their money. So, to protect people from further harm, the RBI issued a circular prohibiting any financial institution registered with them in dealing with cryptocurrencies or facilitating any person dealing with cryptocurrencies. Basically, they banned crypto from India. After this, all the new crypto exchanges that had started to come up were suddenly out of business. Crypto trading in our country came to a dramatic standstill, with trading volumes falling by 99%, subsequently causing 95% of jobs in the field to vanish. Even the government started getting aggressive. In 2019, an interministerial committee that was set up to formulate a policy on cryptocurrencies submitted its report. The committee called for a clear blanket ban on private virtual currencies and prepared a draft bill called Banning of Cryptocurrency and Regulation of Official Digital Currency Bill 2019. Cash-strung exchanges started knocking the doors of the Supreme Court for some respite. And as it turned out, the court was in a different mood. In March 2020, the Supreme Court declared the ban on crypto by the RBI as unconstitutional. The court ruled that cryptocurrencies cannot be termed as illegal because a ban on it is not proportionate to the fear of the damage that it may cause. And hence, there remains a lot of thinking that still needs to be done. What thinking, you ask? Well, the first thing that we need an answer for is this. Should the government regulate cryptocurrencies at all? Remember when I told you how normal currency is centralized and cryptocurrency is decentralized? I mean, think about it. How can a central agency or entity like a government or a bank regulate cryptocurrency, which the very basic concept of the currency is that it cannot be controlled by a single entity? Yeah, it's like the internet. It's a network of computers and it is impossible for one company or entity to control the entire thing. Some people are trying to do it, but they can't because the internet is designed that way. You see, the biggest feature of a cryptocurrency is that it is like a collaborative project, which is sustained by everyone who is a part of the network. There is nothing like a bank involved in the entire process, just some primitive, marvelous, unhackable technology that allows transactions to be registered simultaneously and anonymously. So, talking about the future, what can the government actually do to keep this new currency in check? A short, simple answer to this is that there really isn't much the government can do to regulate cryptocurrency. Since the system is decentralized, people can carry out these transactions using these currencies without any interference of any government entities or third parties. The only thing they can regulate is not the currency itself, but how it is used. For instance, China has outright banned cryptocurrencies. They have shut down all possible exchanges and banned any physical businesses that arise out of them on their native land, using land use regulations. On the other hand, there are countries such as El Salvador who are embracing cryptocurrencies as a whole and have even allowed their use as legal tender. Some other countries like Paraguay are also considering it. India, however, is kind of confused. The government wants to ban it, but the Supreme Court has told them not to. We have our fingers in both pies, and the current cryptocurrency exchanges are living in this weird grey area in between. Even RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat has noticed this and asked the government to make up its mind.
ऐसी सारी बातें चल रही है और अनियंत्रित बातें भी बढ़ रही है. बिटकॉइन जैसी करेंसी है, किस राष्ट्र का किस नियम का उस पर नियंत्रण है मुझे नहीं पता. एक स्पर्धा खड़ी हो रही है. इन सब बातों को नियंत्रित करना, समाज के हित में चलाना, ड्रग्स जैसे व्यसनों का पूर्ण निराश हो इसका प्रयास करना, ये शासन को करना चाहिए, करना पड़ेगा.
Let's hope they do soon enough so that the cryptocurrency space can kick off in the real sense and not sound like some Ponzi scheme. This crypto thing is complicated. This is a bit of a mind bender for everyone. On one hand, there are exchanges happily letting people trade cryptocurrencies and encouraging more people to do it, while the government is desperately trying to figure out how to regulate it. So for you, I'm leaving a link to the draft cryptocurrency bill in the description. No doubt, if you are someone who is considering putting money into crypto, I recommend you keep a watch on what the government is up to as well, just so you are not caught off guard, like on 8th of November 2016. That's all I have for you in this week's Sansad Watch. Remember, if you want to make Parliament great again, you need to watch it first.
We, being an independent platform, depend on our readers, viewers and listeners. Support independent media by subscribing to News Laundry. Go to newslaundry.com, click on the subscribe button at the top and pay to keep news free.